Hello students, hope all you are well. As you know, this time is going in this one kind of disease. So, in this circumstances, the education is quite impossible to from the school. Now, the online provision is going over there. In this situation, I want to say take attention towards your videos, whatever is made by the teachers, and I am going to explain one of the chapter today. Go through it.
Students, we have to go through the discussion on the specific points: introduction, characteristics of tribal societies in medieval period, different tribal societies, caste versus tribe, and recapitulation. Students, the different indigenous and ethnic groups known as tribes were located different places in India. The different sites are discovered so far to evaluate the origin and crucial life pattern of these people. Their unique societies were not divided into castes. They lived in relative isolation, away from the influence of mainstream. They had distinct identity for their culture, language, and religion. Kinship bonding was very important, but they were not the permanent settlers who used to settle permanently were engaged in agricultural productions. The other groups used to roam here and there with their herds, and they mostly depended on herds for their livelihood. Now we have to discuss about characteristics of the nomadic tribes. Usually, tribe people adopted different ways to secure a livelihood. Some of the groups led a nomadic lifestyle, whereas the others secured the permanent settlement at a place. Thus, they adopted the agriculture as the chief means of livelihood. The nomadic tribes, on the other hand, reared animals such as cattle, goat, camel, sheep, or horses to satisfy their livelihood. They utilized the products from their herds in exchange for need of food. Usually, they practiced shifting cultivation. Economically, they were self sufficient. The other people in their inherent group were involved as craftspersons, small time peddlers, and entertainers who traveled from place to place and practiced their different occupations. Some people in the group worked as laborers. These tribal groups were distinguished by their distinct lifestyle, custom, language, and culture, and consciously preserved the same. Now we have to focus on the Gonds. The Gonds basically belonged since early medieval period around the Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, and present day in Chhattisgarh. This tribal community formed Kalachuri dynasty by taking tribute from the tribes that resided in this hilly and forested region. They were very large in numbers and their language was Gondi. They had probably migrated from south between the 10th and 12th centuries. Most of them were traditionally agriculturalists, while some practiced shifting cultivation and rest worked as farm laborers. After the decline of the Kalachuris around the 13th century, several Gond chieftains established independent strongholds in southern and western parts of the Kalachuri kingdom. The capitals of the Gonds chiefs were usually built near a hill or a river and were located at Deoghar, Kerala, Mandla, and Chanda. The large places, forests, and walled cities were stand as a reflection of the immense power and wealth of the Gond tribe. The Gond chiefs assumed Rajput's titles. The Akbarnama mentioned about Gad Katanga and its well structured administrative systems. The kingdom was divided into Gads and each was administered by a particular royal family member. The Gad was further divided into 84 villages called Chaurasis and further divided into Barhots, including 12 villages. The Gonds were very brave. They rebelled against the Mughals and some reigned independence after Aurangzeb's death. Students, now we have to look into the social life about the Gonds. Gonds led the simple life. The village consisted of a headman and a council which upheld Gond custom. The large Gond tribe was divided into clans and each clan has its own Raja or Rai. These clans were interrelated through the rituals and social norms. Marriage took place at a young age and instances of widow remarriage and divorce were not very uncommon. The Gonds were divided into 4 sagas, each with its own deity and priest. Due to division, they had a distinct group of gods and spirits whom they worshipped. They worshipped a high god known as Parsapen, also referred as Baradev and Sri Shambhu Mahadev. They also worshipped family and the household gods like the gods of field and the gods of cattle. They were mostly involved in farming work. They were also dependent on the forest products. The vegetables were either collected from the forest or grown in the kitchen gardens. Mostly they practiced the shifting cultivation, cattle rearing, hunting, fishing, carpentry, metal work, and making of bamboo baskets. The next tribal group was Ahoms of Assam. We have to evaluate its importance. The Ahoms were the descendants from the Shang dynasty of China and Southeast Asia. They crossed the Patkai hills in the northeast and settled down in the Brahmaputra valley in 13th century. They suppressed the locally powerful landlords called the Bhuyans. They also engaged by the matrimonial alliances to extend their territorial boundaries. They unified the local existing tribal groups under their control. Finally, they established their kingdom at Karaidio to form a state called Assam in the eastern part of the Brahmaputra valley. The Ahoms ruled over Assam about 600 years. They also adopted Assamese language. The kings and the other high officials patronized Hinduism. Gradually, Hinduism became the dominant religion. Let's have a short discussion on political issues of Ahoms. Ahoms followed the centralized system of administration. The Ahom kingdom were called Swargdeos. Their kingdom was divided into provinces. Each of the province was controlled by a governor. One of the important system was existed known as pike system. These pikes would work for the state on rotation basis. In lieu of the services rendered, the pikes received 2 acres of land which was neither transferable nor hereditary. They participated in the construction works or in military services. Their relation with the Mughals was not very good. The Mughals repeatedly desired to conquer and establish their control over Assam but were unable to capture the kingdom. Finally, in 1662, the Mughals defeated the Ahoms and acquired immense riches comprising gold and silver coins, rice, gunpowder, guns, shields, and ships. Later in 1671 CE, Mughals were defeated by the Ahoms. Later the kingdom came under the control of British during 19th century. The Ahom society was divided into 7 main clans known as Satghariya Ahoms, comprising the royal family, the nobility as well as 4 priestly groups, while the remaining people came under the pike system. They led a simple tribal life. Wet rice cultivation was introduced by the Ahoms in Upper Assam. The superior rice cultivation technology and a system of irrigation, along with the reclamation of land using dikes and embankments, helped the Ahoms to establish the initial state structures. In the Varna system from medieval period, the Brahmins commanded great respect. They were granted tax-free lands by many rulers during the medieval period, whereas many social groups who were in warrior class acclaimed themselves as Kshatriyas and monopolized the political power through warfare. The status of merchants, traders, and other social groups was not important in the society. These could varied accordingly to the place. On the other hand, tribal communities did not adhere to the Varna system, at times came into conflict with caste based societies. Several clashes occurred due to the relationship between the two societies was symbiotic. Later the tribes claimed Rajput status while the majority joined the ranks of lower jatis. Some tribes of Punjab, Sindh adopted the Islam and rejected the caste system. So we can estimate that tribal societies are the wealth of our modern society structure. This structure has the foundation by these communities who get settled at a place and derive different social norms. Since long ago, they used to share the cultural ethics with others, which gradually improved their social status and focus for the modernity. Now, this was all over about the chapter. Students, go to its exercise and question answers. Thank you.